What up, headbangers? How you doing? I'm Robb, and welcome to the Greasiest of all time. Today we're chilling with Kelowna band Dying Breed. How are you guys doing?
Excellent. How are yourself?
Good. Why don't you introduce yourselves and how the band got together?
Stefan, I'm on the drums from a little bit everywhere. Yeah.
That's right. Right. Conan Evans, guitarist, born and raised in the Okanagan.
Jamie Spencer, I'm on bass. I'm originally from the UK, and I moved to Kelowna about 7-8 years ago now.
Cool. How'd you guys all get together? How'd you meet?
Oh man, that's a story.
That's a story. I always say something that's funny. I'm like, Dakota, thanks for inviting. That's kind of our thing, man. Thanks for saying yes. So funny.
So pretty much what happened was me and the lead singer were in high school for years. He never thought that he had a voice, and I kind of kept pushing him to sing. And finally, he said, "Okay, let's try this out." So it was me and him for a while. I then started a job at Kelowna Chrysler. They were looking for a drummer at the time, and I heard of this parts guy who played drums really well. So turns out Stefan was ex-drummer for a band called Bride, a Christian rock band. And as soon as I seen him play, it was like an automatic yes, we need you. And then after that, we were going to stick with the three-piece, and Rory kind of wanted to be more free. So we brought Jamie into the bass, low end.
That's awesome. So you guys are a four-piece.
Yeah, we're a four-piece now.
As of 2 months ago.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, about 2 months ago.
Yeah. Until that, just three-piece, the singer rocking the bass, and putting out some songs.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
So since March, it'll be a 1-year anniversary coming up.
Yeah, we'll be.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling, hey?
Oh yeah, we've done a lot in less than a year, big time, especially with the COVID.
Yeah, I was gonna say COVID definitely
Right on.
pushed everybody to be hard.
Yeah,
That's awesome. So
it's really nice.
are you guys releasing any music? Have you released any music recently? I know that you have some songs on Spotify.
Yeah, we got Unchained. That was our first EP. It was a 4-song EP. That did pretty well. And then we released a single with a music video for Demon Got Mine. And then we plan on being back in the studio in springtime for another EP.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys are putting on a wicked fundraiser right now for mental health. You're trying to raise $1,000 for it. So why don't you tell us about that endeavor?
$1,000. We're at
575.
575, yeah.
575 right now, yeah.
So we're getting there slowly but surely. But yeah, once that's finished, we're gonna put on an online show as well as do the Bobby Wing Challenge for wings, which doesn't sound like much fun.
Oh, that's cool because it's a good thing to work towards and put investment in is mental health, especially right now with everybody being on lockdown. And
100%.
you got
It's
so
a-
much.
Including us in the band, right? Like it's hard times right now. So if we can do something to help out or help somebody else out, we're all for it. Right on.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing we wanted to do was with this, we were looking into doing something to give back somehow in the long run. So like we're trying to like figure out how. At the moment we're just building it slowly, but
Right.
the fact that you guys are doing that for such a good cause, I think is the more it gets out there, the better, the faster it'll go. And I think you guys will actually make more than $1,000, to be honest.
For a good thing will be good.
How long have you guys been doing it for?
The fundraiser?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd say we're coming up on a month now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was funny. My girlfriend actually shared the Castanet link to me. And then two of my friends had shared it. And the first thing I said was like, I'm going to talk to these guys and try to get an interview. Because what I want to do is no worries. I want to get this episode out as quick as possible. Like I might push it ahead just because you guys have the fundraiser and the cause. So I'll try and get it out as quick as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then we can all help because I think more than just that, I think a lot of bands would be willing to even help in some way, even doing their own version of it. Because
Have been for years, right? Just what they do.
Yeah, it's been a rough time for everybody. I know my band had to deal with it with me because I had a crazy mental breakdown this year, and it was a hell of an experience. But it turned into a lot of good writing for this all like our EP, and
Right.
it strengthened us as a group too, because I realized like my best friends are now the closest people to me who is my band, which is kind of a cool thing.
I think that's where we're
I
at.
concur to that totally.
The family vibe, right?
Yeah.
Important to keep that close knit, family bond. It's kind of what I'd say it as. So
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice when you find your band of brothers, and I guess so to say, with like your warrior crew that you can go through war with and do anything with and still make it through.
I mean, at this point, we really haven't had to try, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think there's been, I don't know, I just think it's just come.
Yeah,
it's pretty natural.
Yeah,
our
it's-
chemistry is pretty strong. Like even when we've had kind of our hiccups, or if, one of us does something that the other one doesn't like, it's as simple as just having a conversation with each other.
That's it.
It's under the table.
Gone, moving on. We got some music to play. So,
Yeah, it's not a reality TV show.
yeah,
It's a band.
Exactly.
unless someone confronts you, of course, then you think of it.
Yeah. Your guys' style, it's really groovy and super rock. Like I love it. What's your main influence? Like how do you guys go about writing music so far?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Your guys' style, the way you've created it, like come about creating your style of music.
A big part of the sound, I'd say, is actually Rory, the lead singer. He started writing music after high school, and it was more so poems, I guess.
Mm.
And it kind of slowly just grew and grew and grew, and then kind of meshed it with kind of this grunge style, Kurt Cobain, Soundgarden kind of sound. And as soon as he brought that to the table and we started throwing riffs on top of it, it was like, oh my God, like, what have we been missing?
Yeah, it's super cool because I find Kelowna, being a band from Kelowna as well, there's a really diverse scene.
It is. It's
You'll have
to the other.
Yeah.
like you have crazy like Drop Dead Fred metal, who's like
Yeah.
in flames, and then you've got like Arc and Fire, who is like Iron Maiden to my eyes, you know what I mean, that operatic metal. And then you have your scream bands, and then you have your rock bands, and then you have like the bands that have already made it, like the Wild and a couple other groups. But it's such a cool thing to see because Kelowna's music scene is just rock. It's so solid too.
I've said this to multiple people that I think Kelowna is kind of the new. It's almost as close as Vancouver's music scene. Like it's getting there.
Yeah, I wish we had more venues is the only thing, because like Moonan's just shut down. I think it was last year or the year before, but that was really one of the only venues. Because we have Munins, and then we had what's the other one downtown that everyone plays at? Yes, thank you, Fernando's. I wanted to say O'Flanagan's.
Oh, Fernando's closed down.
Did it?
509, that bar I was talking about.
Yeah.
They took the whole.
Gotcha. It's a
Oh,
good
so-
next to there, I remember. Yeah, good food
Amazing.
too. Yeah. Good times.
That means the another venue gone then, eh?
What's that?
Is that does that mean another venue is gone? You said that they shut down?
Yeah, so it's a guy actually. I'm working at Wentworth Music, and a guy came in, and so apparently it's called at 509, and it's a new bar and lounge that has taken over Fernando's. And the way the guy was speaking, it sounds like he has every plan to have live bands in there, just like it was before.
Oh, that's wicked.
Yeah. So that was a good thing to hear. So I think once this COVID thing lifts, I think we're going to see a lot more shows, a lot more venues. Everyone's just, shaking in the chair, waiting to see something live.
Yeah, we're all itching too. I know every band that I've talked to from all over the world is itching to play.
Oh man, we've had a couple shows come up, and then we see a spike in COVID, and they disappear just as fast as they come, right? So
Yeah, especially here, because we have such a small scene that if a show comes and you get it, you're stoked as hell to get it because there's so many bands, and you're like, all right, sweet. But then you lose it, you're like, damn it. Like we were supposed to open up for Stitched Apart last November when they were going to come through, but COVID hit in March, I think it was, and we were like, all right, no shows.
Yeah, but we actually got together when COVID hit. literally,
Yeah, it was-
after the second practice, I had to come get my drums. It wasn't much.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 or 4 practices, and then we were here at Bryson. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Hey, yeah. So that's probably been one of your biggest setbacks is COVID then, I guess, hey?
In a way, I guess, because the thing we've noticed is we feel and we kind of see other bands kind of not taking advantage, we're kind of sleeping on this whole pandemic where they don't want to release new music. They can't play live shows, where we're doing everything in our power to get out there. We're doing promoting, marketing, we're releasing songs as fast as we can.
Yeah.
We just want to stay on top of everybody. So when this pandemic lifts, we're running.
No, we're the exact same way.
We're rolling.
We're the exact same way. It's cool to see. It is definitely cool to see who's taking it as a business, because that's what you have to turn it into right now.
100%.
Well,
We're
yeah,
not-
it comes first though, always. The music is, tip
Yeah.
top. We don't, without the music, we're not even here talking to you, I think, right now, right? So
Mhm.
that's kind of that's the top of the food chain.
Yeah, it's definitely, you have to, and the ability to sit down and be creative for a year without having to stress out about performing is kind of a nice thing, because you get that ability to sit down as a group and write your album and write your songs instead of just rushing them out and then having to worry about shows. And
Exactly, yeah.
it's a nice, I've actually really enjoyed COVID for that aspect of growing as a musician, because I've got to sit. Yeah, like I've got to sit and focus on my craft instead of just like, oh shit, we got to go write an album and then we got to go tour, or that concept is.
But like, it should never felt right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only pressure we had was the COVID, so we recorded 4 songs and what?
I think it was
Recorded,
within
mixed,
12 hours.
mastered, I mean, just,
12 hours, I think we did that EP. And it was actually recorded in this building.
yeah.
Oh, that's wicked.
Yeah, we set up the drums here. He brought a shit ton of equipment, and it was really cool, man.
I'm
Yeah, so,
actually pretty sure you know Jonathan Hintz.
I believe so. Yeah, that's funny. That's who did your
it was,
album.
it was cool. You would have loved it, man. It was fantastic.
It's a nice experience. I got lucky, or we got lucky, because our drummer is a hell of a producer. So he's got, and his garage is actually turned into a studio.
Oh,
So we got like the double door and all the soundproof.
Yeah, that's yeah. You definitely hit the rock ship there, right? That hit a lottery, man.
Yeah, and he's a solid dude, dude. Do you guys remember High Horse?
I'm not from Canada, so I may not have heard of it.
They're from
They-
Kelowna. They're a local band. They played the bass player from Lakeman was also in it.
Okay.
They're
I'll know for sure, man. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, they're dope. They were a really cool band. They're a 3-piece, and we were lucky enough because I think they stopped playing and they handed us Andy kind of on a platter, basically, because I was looking for a drummer, and they were like, "Here." So it was
Nice.
nice.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
What's your guys' first thing besides performing after COVID? What's the first thing you want to get done?
I think for me at least, I think the new music is like first and foremost. After we're recording in the springtime there, I think we're definitely going to post some kind of album like that. I think that's going to be like the next step
Yeah,
forward.
we're probably putting everything together. Like we got a couple songs on that first EP that we've actually made major changes to. So
Yeah.
we're probably going to end up re-recording a couple of those. And then just putting them all together and releasing it as a whole album will probably be the next step. Other than that, it would just many shows as possible. If we can end up on some sort of tour come summertime, we're laughing.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool to put a festival together too with a bunch of local bands. Do like an all ages show.
Well, there was that. Rory always talks about one. It's called Tune Down and Turn It Up or something.
I don't think I've heard of it.
Ever heard of that?
No.
Apparently it's a local heavy metal show that's been going on for 4 years.
Okay.
And it's all local heavy metal bands. And it's called Tune Down and Turn It Up.
Oh, sweet. I'll
Yeah,
have to look into that because I know that we have the Armstrong Metal Festival, which is wicked,
yeah, that's cheap, but that's growing
and
fast.
that's been going for a while now. So it's cool to see that there's another one.
100%.
it would definitely be nice to like, you're from Kelowna, so you grew up in Kelowna. Do you remember the Stutterfly days?
Yeah.
I wish we could make the scene like that again. Like, those were the good old days where we had like 150 people stacked into a little church room.
Yeah, 100%. I actually believe my manager that I work with, I believe he played guitar for them for a little bit.
Oh, for Stutterfly?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I know that
Yeah.
Jordan's producing what is their name? Living Machines, I think their name is, from Kelowna. They're a really I've never seen them perform, like but like, damn, their music is pretty like next level. So it's cool to see how many emerging bands are coming out of Kelowna now after.
It's definitely growing.
Oh, for sure. And
I think one thing is it's just keeping on top of everyone, right? Like, there's so many people that want to get out there and want to get released that it's a competition, but it's a fun one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you definitely find your group of friends that you work well with in the scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know that one, like Steve from Chronicle is one of the most supportive people in Kelowna. Like, Steve is absolutely awesome. If you guys have ever met Steve.
I've yet to meet Steve, but I've heard good things from him.
Oh man, he's like the most supportive person. He every band he reps. So it's kind of a cool. We're all trying to build a community. That's kind of why me and Norman, my bassist, started Enigma, is we realize there is no community for the metal industry, especially emerging bands or rock
100%.
bands. So kind of why I created this, is to give that platform. And for example, like, you guys want to go to Vancouver, all the bands we interview, you can like contact, kind of a thing, because you've met them, man. Kind of.
What you're doing is amazing, man. Like, we definitely need that platform, and we need more people to start doing what you're doing, because it's people like you that are getting us to be heard and getting us to that next step, right?
Oh, we're trying to. I mean, it's definitely, especially nowadays with how flooded the market is and how flooded YouTube is and podcasts. It's we appeal to a niche market at the moment, which is musicians, because where we talk about some pretty unique concepts. I find, like, with some bands, you just kind of get lost in conversation almost, and it's kind of cool to meet people from all over the world with a like mind.
100%.
And I've noticed that the bands that are local, like our BC bands, they want the same thing. They want that tight knit community again. So I think that we're working towards it. And as soon as COVID's done, it's just going to erupt. And the bands that took this last year and a half, maybe if they make it 2 years, made a business out of it and actually pushed hard to learn what they need to further their career in the long run, are the ones who are going to make it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. We've all kind of felt that energy too, of it's a matter of time, and even, I mean, you've heard it millions of times, that it just takes that one person, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely does.
A blessing in disguise for us too. It just gave us that time to kind of hone our craft, right? With no live shows going on, it didn't really feel like a rush for us to, sit down and blast out 5 songs. Sure, we could do it and rush out 5 songs. Are we going to sound as good as the songs that we have now? Probably not. Yeah. So at least we're getting that time to really hone our craft and make sure what we are going to put out there once COVID's done is going to, be like a rocket, and it's just going to shoot off, right? So.
I think you guys will definitely, your sound is perfect for right now too. So I definitely think that will happen with your mentality.
We definitely have a big audience with what we're playing. I mean, our audience, I think, is huge.
Surprisingly enough,
we're not just one. We're not one avenue. We're definitely we have a very broad, I think, audience group.
Well, I think the EP helped with that, because we didn't. There's a couple songs on there that they're pretty heavy, but we also have one that's kind of just like a soft rock. You have one that's really slow rock. Mm-hmm. So it's very diverse EP, right?
And so nowadays it's kind of like you're even
right.
grunge.
Yeah, it's kind of in the middle.
Right
So
in the middle there. So
if people don't like one song, they're bound to like at least one on the EP, right?
Yeah, no, and it's definitely
video even got mine, so it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and you appeal to a lot of people, which is nice, because I find that there's a need for rock right now. Like we had the past 10 years have been electronic and rap. And I noticed that it's slowly, even the hip hop artists are slowly pushing towards rock in their own ways. And
It's funny you say that too, because there's one track that we're working on right now, and Rory, our lead singer, he actually does a lot of rap overlay on one of the verses, right? It's pretty sick. It's funny you say that. There's just, so many influences to take from, even the stuff that does seem to be, kind of styling down, where we're still taking stuff from that and using it as inspiration. So.
Right. Speaking of electric, when we first started the EP, the producer wanted to do this new electronic drum thing, and he sent me a couple of things. I was like, it's all right, but it's, for me, I know it's not a live drum because I'm the drummer, right? So, but yeah, so it was kind of a funny thing. So I was like, look, there's just not going to record this unless we're recording live drums, right? So, and I think that's important. Like you were saying, it's the rock music. I think recording live drums is absolutely essential in the feeling of the song, because you won't get that through an electronic trigger. Never. Technology will go as high as the moon. You will still never get that live feel sound. You're not going to get it. That's just, of course, my opinion, right?
No, 100%. I'm a drummer as well, so I get that. No, I definitely, and you bringing back to the topic of your singer doing hip hop. I toured hip hop for years, and that's the one thing my band pushed me to do more in this, was to use my hip hop abilities. So this album I find most our songs have an element of me doing it somewhere in it. So it's kind of cool, because I'll go from like clean singing to screaming to hip hop, and you're like, all right, dude, pick and choose.
That's the cool thing, is everybody has their own inspiration. Like even with bringing Jamie on board, it was almost instant where we started playing and he did a couple bass lines, and it was like, holy shit, that's what the song was missing. You know what I mean? And he just kind of all pulled it together. So it's great to see everybody getting along, everybody sharing the same chemistry, just making music.
And it's our first rehearsal without Rory since,
It's probably been 6 months plus.
at least 6 months. Yeah, we've never played without him. So today's the first time after we get done here. We're going to be jamming out for a while. So we're just
Some
plugging
new
away.
songs. You guys will come up with some new shit, and he'll be like, you guys wrote a new album without me?
Yeah, no, it's going strong. I think we got
We're totally good.
four or five new ones on the way. So
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's like our guitar player. He's just waiting to get his equipment out of storage, because everything's in lockdown a lot harder in the UK right now. So as soon as he gets his stuff, he's like, man, I've been just writing and writing and writing since I got home.
man, I feel for him. I feel
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah, it's cool to have that want and that like wonder of what you're gonna hear when it gets recorded and sent over to you. So I'm really excited to see what happens, because
100%.
it's
I think that's the funnest part about releasing new stuff is the build up to the release, teasing the all that stuff, get everyone excited for it. At least for me personally, that's one of the most funnest things in the band to do.
yeah, no, for sure. What day are you guys? Is there like a deadline for your fundraiser, or is it until you make the money that you?
Fundraiser. So we've been kind of back and forth with it on either setting a date, but we're worried that if we set a date that people won't meet the goal of the fundraiser. So what we've been telling everybody right now is once that fundraiser goal is met, we will give you the date.
Okay. Yeah,
And it'll probably be a couple weeks after, I'd say we meet the goal. I'd say no longer than that. I'd say
No more than 2 weeks after the goal is set. Okay, we're gonna have a live show here. We're gonna do the wing thing here. So
I'd expect to see like an announcement on our social media, a couple of days after the goal is met. We'll definitely put the date out there as soon as it fits all set.
anticipation.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I think people will be more into the fact that you're doing something good, you know what I mean, versus just like we're trying to raise money for a tour, or we're raising money for something that's not helping.
Right.
So
and that's like when we created the fundraiser, we thought Stefan had the great idea of let's create our own mental health fundraiser. And we thought that was a great idea, but then our minds instantly went to people are going to think that we're pocketing that money for tour purposes or
Correct, right.
instruments or whatever, right? So the way we set it up,
Yeah.
if someone donates their money, it goes straight to Canadian Mental Health
100%
Association.
right out of the gate.
Yeah, it goes to the BC division, so it still stays local. But yeah, it's going directly to them.
Yeah, this is no Jerry Lee Lewis telephone.
We're trying to be transparent, right?
Yeah.
No, that's wicked. And I definitely think that the fact that you guys are doing it will help. I think once it gets spreads out more, because you've been doing it for a month, and I mean, to raise half of it already in a month is pretty fucking wicked. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're over halfway in a month, and that's why I feel like another month down the road, if it takes that long, you guys might even beat what you want. You know what I mean? The more it spreads, the more people are inclined.
You know, people's finances have been affected by COVID. You know, we're taking that into consideration too. Not everyone's got spare money kicking around right now, and we understand that. But yeah, you know, every little helps. If it's $5, $10, you know, we're gonna get to that goal eventually, and when we do, we're gonna rock out.
Even a like or a share, you know what I mean? Like, again, what Jamie's saying, not everybody has a buck or two to spare right now. But if you're scrolling, throw us a like, throw us a share. That is $10 or more to us.
Yeah, dyingbreed.ca as well, takes you right to everything there too. Yep.
That's awesome. Well, I'll share your guys's all the links and everything in all the posts, so it will get circulated. So because we're in a worldwide metal group. I don't know if you guys are in that one on Facebook, but there's like
we explored a little bit.
Yeah, there's like 43,000 different members, and most of them are bands. So
Have faith in you.
so I think the sharing concept alone will help. If everybody helps share it, it'll get out there. So I definitely think that you guys, your fundraiser will make it, and you'll be playing pretty damn soon.
Exactly. It's we're here. We will give back the love is what I'm trying to get at, right? Like we have such a respect for fans and our friends and our family that if, you know, again, we're putting on a show for a reason, right? It's not like, hey, send us $1,000 and we'll forget about you. We're gonna give you something in value.
I mean, music is sacrifice too. Of course, that could just be a whole other show for you there. But yeah, I mean, music is definitely not a bad way sacrifice, but you know, playing music, being a musician, it is a sacrifice in some sorts. It truly is, and that's just, you know, that's my take on it. It's
No,
really
it is. I think it's
right.
yeah, it's I think being any kind of artist is a sacrifice if you're dedicated to it.
Definitely a risk. You're kind of jumping off a cliff and hoping you're gonna hit a crowd.
Well, especially as a musician, yeah, because like musicians, I mean, you invest in your drum kit, which is probably like, you know, over $1,500. It's an investment, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, had a few in my days, man. Yes, yep.
Yeah. So I mean,
Cost you that nowadays.
yeah, cymbals, fuck. I go through cymbals like a madman. Yeah, man. Well, I was a drummer for I don't know if you guys remember the band Meteor Tree from Kelowna. Yeah, I was the drummer for them, and yeah, I've wasted enough cymbals in my day. So it's my cymbals all have chunks out of them like that big. Cool. Is there anything you guys want to say that you would change into the industry today, if you could?
I would say paying musicians the right value for what they're worth. This whole 0.0006 pennies per play is it's a little ridiculous. Like we've put a lot of time and work into this, a lot of money into this, and I mean we'll take what we get. We love what we do, but to, you know, create an EP and then at the end of the year, you know, your account only has $25 in it. It's kind of like, man.
Yeah, it's definitely and I think it's like 0.0047. So if you make 1 million, if you do 1 million streams, you make like $4,300 or something.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, compared to like the 70s where rock stars made millions of dollars and could buy anything they wanted.
Like the late 80s is when that kind of was almost half of what you made 20 years prior. So then the 90s, almost nothing. 2000, you can forget about it.
Yeah, throw the quarter peg for
Yeah,
sandwiches.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely I think the most said response so far is that needs to change. And then trying to figure out how to make that change is the hard thing. Whether it's you have to create a whole new platform that musicians create, like, you know what I mean? Like a musician takes the time to do it and make it themselves for musicians. I think that's the only way to go about it.
But now, do you think that takes away from your creativity, though? As looking at it from sitting behind your kid, playing behind your microphone and guitar, do you think because you have that thought process now, do you think that takes away from your creativity? Just curious what you may, what might you say to them?
Like my personal self?
Yeah, I mean, as far as you having that, it's 0.47 blah. Do you think that takes away from your musical creativity when you're writing songs?
No, music has always been the thing that, like, since I picked up a guitar at 10 years old and was performing at 12 in like open mics. It's always been, I'll be 70 years old still trying to book a show. It's,
Right.
I don't care if I make it or not. It's at this point,
Oh, yeah.
10 years ago when I was 20, it was I want to be a rock star. Now that I'm 30, it's for me. It's if people enjoy it, then people enjoy it.
You enjoy it, right?
I think that's one thing I would personally change in the industry is that hunger or that greed for fame. The whole idea that you're gonna make it and you're gonna be a millionaire. I mean, for me, it's just not about that. For me, it's about creating that music and creating that feeling. There's something different, something special. People wanting to get close to the ugliness of fame is for me something that does put a detriment to the industry rather than a positive.
I mean, we'll always be approachable. I mean, I definitely see that. We'll always be approachable. We're not going to never not be approachable for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, Jamie's a good example where when we invited him into a practice, like he even said right out of the gate, he's like, guys, I was nervous as hell coming here, but I'm pretty sure he found out pretty quick that we were a very chill group of guys.
Yeah,
Just we're a family, really a family.
Let's play, let's jam, let's make some tunes.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anything you guys want to say to the viewers before we wrap up?
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, if you're listening and watching, absolutely. DyingBreed.ca.
Check out the fundraiser.
Yeah.
And thank you to all.
Yeah. More to come, for sure.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, thank you guys for coming on, and we'll definitely have you back on when you release your next set of songs.
I hope to see you out there soon. I'm looking forward to listening to some of your stuff, man.
Awesome. Thank you guys. We'll definitely keep in touch.
Be good, buddy.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Later, man. Thank you.